think it does a little bit less than half, maybe 30%.
Hmm.
Uh, also we see more Gastrons from both teams this time. Tapu Koko, Tapu Lele, so we have opposing terrains just like last set, and Duo Arcanine again.
Yeah, I don't think Gastrodon is going to be too featured in this set. I think that Gastrodon can maybe do some work. Obviously, there's a Crocodile and an Arcanine on the one side, and there's an Arcanine and a Garchomp on the other side. But otherwise, Gastrodon relatively tame in this matchup. Not really doing its whole storm draining and being a defensive wall like we saw in the last set we just saw. But something I could see being a huge part of these sets are both of the Tapus. I think the Tapus are probably the keys to both of the matchups here. Tapu Koko being able to throw them with so much damage, and then being as fast as it is, and Tapu Lele also being able to throw them with loads of damage, and being slower than Tapu Koko, it will get the second train on the field first if they both led. So let's see what the players decided to lead with as the players are mixing up with a little banter as we go into our top 4 set. It's been a very long day. It's like 7:50. So, yeah, we're going to have the Tapu Koko and the Garchomp lead for Danny, or for Jake, James,
I'm
rather.
Jake.
You're Jake. I'm Tommy. That's Danny. Okay. And then, yeah. So James will be leading with Tapu Koko and Garchomp, and then Danny will be leading with Tapu Lele and Crocodile. So both the ground types and both the Tapus on the field at the same time. Intimidate will be coming out from Crocodile, so that's putting a little bit of hurt on the Garchomp there, and Tapu Lele will get the second train up, so that's a very big turn 1 play there for Danny.
And James, some information right away. That Tapu Lele is not Choice Scarf, so that's a good thing and a bad thing. Psychic does have Psychic Terrain up, but Tapu Koko is faster.
Yes, we will see the Garchomp go for the Protect here as Tapu Lele also goes for the Protect here, and let's see if the Crocodile maybe decided to go for an Earthquake. We're going to see Tapu Koko go for a Dazzling Gleam. Is this going to be enough to pick up the knockout on the Crocodile? I know it comes close sometimes, and it's going to do around 70% there. As we see the Earthquake connect with the Tapu Koko, let's see if it's going to be enough to take a knockout. You can only imagine that it would, but let's see how much damage this Earthquake does on the Tapu Koko. And it will be doing, a lot of damage, but not enough to KO the Tapu Koko, hanging on with just 14 HP there.
Yeah, I actually picked that Earthquake to get the knockout on Tapu Koko, but without a boosting item or a lot of ways to, get your attack up, Crocodile doesn't do that much damage, but it has a decent attack set. Tapu Koko, though, can go for maybe another Dazzling Gleam onto both Pokemon. That would get the knockout on the Crocodile. And James, I'm not sure if he has Poison Jab or not, but that would certainly do a lot of damage to Tapu Lele, but he would have to take a Moonblast in the process because it isn't -1.
Yeah, he could just go for something like a Dazzling Gleam and a Poison Jab, but obviously, yeah, because he isn't -1, he probably wouldn't pick up a knockout there. So we're going to see the Garchomp switching out, resetting that attack stat from the Intimidate as we see the Gengar coming in. We're going to see Crocodile also switching out, not wanting to take a Dazzling Gleam to the face, and Celesteela will be the mon of choice for Danny, and Tapu Koko going for the Dazzling Gleam, going to do a little bit of chip damage to both Tapu Lele and the Celesteela, do around 25% to the Tapu Lele, as the Moonblast comes out and it targets the Gengar, so Tapu Koko will survive the turn.
Right, and with that Moonblast,
Oh, wow.
yeah, with the starting attack draw, that's never fun. But the Moonblast does get Curse Body, so that's always good. Tapu Koko, fortunately, does get to survive this turn, so James will have an opportunity to go for a Thunderbolt onto that Celesteela. And judging by the Pokemon James has brought this game so far, he doesn't really have a lot of ways to touch Celesteela. So having this Tapu Koko around still keeps James in this game.
Yeah, and with that -1 on the Gengar, it's going to be a little bit rough, especially since you're not sure how much damage you can do. We see the Volt Switch targeting down the Celesteela, so not targeting down the Tapu Lele, and into the Gastrodon switch. So it does get the Volt Switch off, and we'll be able to save Tapu Koko for later in the game. As it gets a decent amount of chip damage on that Celesteela, which we did just say that he didn't have a lot to hit, but we do see the Arcanine in the back, so that's definitely something that can hit Celesteela. But Gastrodon looking like it's going to be a big threat, since there's not a lot he has to deal with that either. Gengar will go for Sludge Bomb, and that will target down the Gastrodon and just do very minimal damage. We'll get the poison. I don't think it will, as we're going to see the Maranga Berry from the Gastrodon, as Heavy Slam will come out, and it will target down that Gengar. Let's see if it's enough to pick up the knockout. And it will hang on with just 5 HP, so no Beast Boost now for the Celesteela, and big turn. I mean, Maranga Berry activated, and that means that Gastrodon's probably going to want to stay on the field as long as possible now.
Right, and now he's not going to take any. He's going to eat up those special attacks really well. And so maybe James, that really limits James because he can't hit it. And the only thing that's really going to do damage to this Gastrodon is Garchomp, but the Gastrodon can easily get off an Ice Beam. So James is going to have a really tough time dealing with that Gastrodon. And with Celesteela, James can go for a Fire type move onto it, but that's not really. Celesteela isn't really much of a threat with that Fire typing out. So I could imagine maybe James going for a Snarl and maybe a switch out from Gengar. And even then, there's still not a lot that James can really do this turn. So Danny's definitely in the driver's seat.
Yeah, he probably needs to eventually get a burn down on that Gastrodon, and then maybe try and get Garchomp single target with the Gastrodon to maybe Earthquake it. But we're going to see the Celesteela switching out into the Crocodile, and that will activate Intimidate. I don't believe either of these Mons are physical attackers, but Crocodile will come onto the field against two ground weak Pokemon. As Shadow Ball will come out, and that will target the Gastrodon, doing just a little bit of damage there, and Snarl will come out from the Arcanine. It will target down that Gastrodon and miss the Crocodile, which I don't think is the worst thing in the world. Scald will target down onto the Arcanine, and Arcanine will take a decent amount of damage after the Snarl there, but still a little bit of chip damage there onto the Arcanine.
Yeah, that's always nice. So perhaps we can see Danny go for Protect Earthquake. I don't think -1 Shadow Ball or Sludge Ball will get the knockout onto Crocodile. So Crocodile's in a very, very nice spot here, and I don't think James has lots of switches in because he's a low Tapu Koko and a Garchomp. So this Crocodile is a huge threat right now.
Yeah, we're going to see the Protect come out from the Arcanine here as Gengar goes for the taunt. Gengar will be taunting down that Gastrodon there, so no Toxics or Recovers on for the Gastrodon now as we see the Crunch take out the Gengar finally, and Curse Body will stop Crunch from being able to go off again as Gastrodon goes for a Scald into the Arcanine. So I think the Crunch is the move you'd want disabled if you're Danny in that situation. Still have access to Earthquake with a potential Tapu Koko and Arcanine.
Yeah, and Garchomp is going to come in here. So, and we also realize that the Crocodile is not Choice Scarf, so Garchomp will be able to outspeed it. So I'd imagine that James can probably go for maybe a Dragon Claw onto the Gastrodon because the Crocodile's not really threatening anything right now. But we also could see a solution to Celesteela and Earthquake play.
Yeah, we're going to see the Crocodile actually switch out into that Celesteela, and let's see what he decided to go for. Maybe a Fire move onto the Celesteela slot. We're going to see a Dragon Claw targeting down that Celesteela, not the Gastrodon. So critical hit, doing a little bit of damage as Will-O-Wisp connects. What does that connect with? That looks like the Gastrodon. So the Gastrodon will finally take a burn there, and let's see what the Gastrodon decided to go for. It went for the Ice Beam. That's going to target down the Garchomp. Let's see how much it does. Looks like we're going to get a little bit over half there. And no freeze, so Celesteela will take a little bit of leftovers recovery there.
Yeah, no freeze. And we also we can probably infer that Garchomp does have the Assault Vest, so that Danny can really use that to his advantage actually, because he doesn't have to worry about a Protect Mind game from that Garchomp, and Arcanine's not really doing anything to Gastrodon at all besides going for maybe a Snarl. It's going to do very minuscule damage, but also lowering the special attack. Celesteela is probably not going to want to take a Fire attack when it's ever, but
yeah, Garchomp can actually just go for attack into the Gastrodon because the Gastrodon is taunted still, so it can't recover right now. So if he wants to, save the Gastrodon for later in the game, he'd probably eventually have to switch out of the Gastrodon and lose his Mega boost. So James doing his best to kind of quarter the Gastrodon into a better position. We're going to see the Celesteela switch out into that Crocodile, and that's going to intimidate both the Arcanine and the Garchomp, this time very much mattering on that Garchomp, and let's see what the Garchomp decided to go for. We're going to see the Z move. Is this the Tectonic Rage from the Garchomp? I do believe we are seeing a Tectonic Rage from the Garchomp, likely targeting down that Gastrodon, and let's see how much damage it is able to do at -1 here. Tectonic Rage coming out from the Garchomp, going to be targeting down that Gastrodon. How much damage does it do? Is it going to be enough to pick up a knockout? Most likely not at -1, and it will hang on with just a little bit. And Flamethrower will target down the Crocodile, and that likely will pick up a knockout on the Crocodile. And let's see what the Gastrodon decided to do. Probably go for an Ice Beam or a Scald. Scald will target down that Arcanine here and do a little bit of chip damage, and will Burn be enough to pick up the knockout there? And just a little bit hanging on there with the new Burn calcs.
Right. I believe that Burn would have taken the Gastrodon out if it was past gen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's definitely helpful for Danny. Tapu Lele is going to come in now, so and I also thought that Gastrodon was that Garchomp was Assault Vest, but it was actually the Gastrodon is actually -1.
Yeah, so it's just not a very specially invested Gastrodon, most likely.
Yeah, so Arcanine can maybe go for a Snarl and take out the Gastrodon and get some damage off into Lele, while also getting a special attack drop onto Lele, and Garchomp, oh, going for
Yeah,
protect.
Garchomp will go for Protect there, and let's see if the Tapu Lele decides to Moonblast the Garchomp there as Snarl will come out. It does connect with that Gastrodon, so that will pick up a knockout onto the Gastrodon and lower the special attack from the Tapu Lele, as well as doing a little bit of chip damage there. So that's a very positive turn for James there.
Yeah, and I like how James is really capitalizing on this with his Arcanine because he got that Snarl off, and now that puts him in a really good position. And with only 2 Pokemon left, Arcanine could probably go for a Flamethrower on a Celesteela and probably do a lot, and possibly take the set with a switch out from the Garchomp.
Yeah, let's see if the Tapu Lele is fast enough to outspeed the Arcanine and maybe get Psychic off on it. Because if it's able to take out the Arcanine, then Celesteela might be able to just, 1v2 the rest of James's team. So we're going to see the Arcanine actually going for the Protect there, and Garchomp will go for the Earthquake. That's going to do a lot of damage to the Tapu Lele, not going to affect the Celesteela, of course. Let's see how much it does. I do believe it's still -1 Garchomp. And we're going to see Tapu Lele take a decent amount of damage from it, likely going down to another one, as Psychic will target down the Arcanine there, and Celesteela will be going for the Leech Seed into that Garchomp, and that's probably what he needs to do to try and get back into this game. He needs to take out this Arcanine very soon, though.
Yeah, and with the actually that was really nice. That was actually really nice because now that James doesn't have first switch Tapu Koko and then will easily just win the game off going for Thunderbolt and Flamethrower. So that was pretty nice for Danny not getting that Tapu Koko in yet, but it's gonna come out at some point. Tapu Lele is now at -1 and will not like to take another Earthquake, but James will probably need to double protect for another Earthquake. So Danny, possibly go for another Psychic.
Yeah, we're going to see the Garchomp switch up finally into that Tapu Koko. We do know that Tapu Koko is at very low health here, so let's see if Tapu Koko is able to survive the turn here at 14 HP as it comes in. And we're going to see the Tapu Lele go for the Psychic. Who is it targeting down? The Arcanine. Is that going to be enough even at -1? No, it will hang on with just 8 HP and heal up a little bit with its Iapa Berry. Wow. As Flamethrower will be connecting with the Celesteela, and will that be enough to pick up a knockout? Just going to miss the knockout there as Celesteela goes for the substitute, but it will not have enough HP. So Tapu Koko coming in will survive the turn and putting a lot of pressure on that Celesteela now.
Right, and now we learned from turn 1 that the Tapu Koko does have to be the Tapu Lele. So James can easily just go for Thunderbolt onto Tapu Lele and go for another Flamethrower on a Celesteela, and that should be game.
Yeah, we're going to see Danny forfeit game 1 here of top 4. So just game 1 of the set here, and Danny had a very dominating position with the Gastrodon on the field, but James very smartly knew what he had to do to neutralize it, getting the taunt off so that Danny couldn't get a recover off with the Gastrodon, and then bringing the Garchomp and just throwing some physical attacks at it, as we did see the Moringa Berry activate, and that was very hard for James to deal with, but he was able to eventually deal with it.
Yeah, that was really smart playing, but like you said, not getting recovers off. If Gastrodon can't recover, it's eventually going down. So very, very nice by James. And also, I think that Tectonic Rage really helped too. So the combination of those really helped James win that matchup. And I think James is a little bit weak to Gastrodon, with also the Gastrodon being neutralized and Celesteela. Actually, no, Celesteela doesn't. Celesteela can actually slot that Gastrodon.
Yeah, I think
I lied.
Yeah, I think one of the big things is that he was able to find out the Garchomp item, since that's one of the big question marks in the format right now is what item the opponent's Garchomp is running. And we did see that the Tectonic Rage did come out from the Garchomp and was able to do a lot of damage to the Gastrodon. So there's not too much that James has to deal with the Gastrodon, so knowing that Danny knowing now that the Garchomp is probably his best way to deal with it, maybe we'll try to neutralize the Garchomp in his game plans and try and maybe focus around a sweep around Gastrodon, since Gastrodon does give James' team a decent amount of trouble.
Right. So it's basically just stop those physical attacks, and Gastrodon can roam free.
Yeah, and I don't believe we saw a. We do see a Arcanine from Danny, so he can just burn the the Garchomp as well. So that's definitely something he can try and do. But we're going to see leads for game 2 here. We're going to have Tapu Koko and Garchomp once again for James, and we're going to see the Crocodile and Tapu Lele. So again, we're going to see the same leads from game 1, double Tapu and double Ground. So again, we're going to see the Electric Terrain go up before the Tapu Lele. So Tapu Lele will get the Psychic Terrain up, instead of the electric train, and Intimidate will go after the second train, and the electric train go off. So we know that we know a little bit of the speed order there. The only one we don't know for sure is the guard jump, of course, but I think we got a good amount of information on that game one.
Right, and this game, this time around, I think I can imagine actually Tapu Lele going for a Moonblast on a Garchomp because that did a lot of work against that Gastrodon, and like you said before, that Gastrodon can do a lot of work if that Garchomp goes down.
Yeah, we do see the Gengar come in probably wanting to take a Moonblast there from the Tapu Lele, and we're going to see the Gastrodon come in for the Crocodile there, switching out as Dazzling Gleam will connect with Gastrodon and Tapu Lele there, and Gastrodon will activate the Moringa Berry once again as Tapu Lele is going to be going for the Shattered Psyche, and let's see who decided to target. I'd want to assume this is probably targeting down the Tapu Koko.
That would be ideal because that would actually help out Danny with Celesteela a lot. So if that does target the Tapu Koko, that would be really nice for Danny, which it does.
Yeah, the Tapu Koko is going to be Tater King the Shattered Psyche, and let's see if it's able to survive. We did see Game 1, it did take the Earthquake, and no, it will not take the Shattered Psyche, that very powerful Psychic Terrain boosted move. So big play for Danny on turn 1, does take out the Tapu Koko, which was a big threat to his Celesteela in the back. So now the only thing stopping Celesteela now is potentially the Arcanine in the back if he does have it, which we do know it is, we have Garchomp and Gengar in the field, so maybe Arcanine is that last mon.
Right, and this now with the Gengar out, James can taunt again, take Astrodon, or he can go for his Sludge Ball maybe onto Tapu Lele, and Garchomp is also going to get some physical attacks onto Gastrodon, which James needs.
Yeah, we're going to see the Gastrodon actually switching out into the Celesteela here, maybe predicting something like a Dragon Claw into that slot. We're going to see Tapu Lele go for the Protect here, not wanting to take any damage from the Gengar or the Gastrodon, or the Garchomp rather, and we're going to see a Swords Dance from the Garchomp, so boosting on a switch and a Protect there from Danny, so a good play from James there, as he does not play into that switch there. He does get a Swords Dance off.
Right, and now Dragon Claw will actually do a good chunk on Celesteela, so we can actually see maybe a Sludge Bomb and Dragon Claw play into Tapu Lele, because Tapu Lele will probably go down to the center if it doesn't switch.
Yeah, but we will see the switch out into the Crocodile, and let's see what the Garchomp decided to do, since that is the big threat on the field right now with that +1 now from the Swords Dance and then the Intimidate drop. Taunt will connect, look like it's going to connect with the Celesteela, and we're going to see an Earthquake, and he's going to be Earthquaking into his own Gengar there and bringing it down to its Focus Sash. Let's see if it's able to take out the opposing Crocodile. It is not. It's going to do around 75%, as Gengar will, again, activate its Focus Sash, and Leaf Seed will not be able to go off after the taunt there, but very risky play, Earthquaking his own Gengar. It's not 2016 anymore. Gengar does not have Levitate anymore.
Yeah, and that was pretty interesting actually. So if James can actually get rid of this Celesteela, he can easily just win with his +1 Garchomp on the field. So yeah. I really like that Swords Dance play from James and that Earthquake as well.
Yeah, we're going to see the Gengar switching out into the Arcanine here, intimidating the Crocodile and Celesteela here, as well as putting a little bit more pressure onto that Celesteela. And we're going to see the opposing Crocodile going for the Protect on Danny's side. And let's see what Garchomp decided to go for. It went for another Swords Dance. So wow, that Garchomp just sweeping through the team with Swords Dances now potentially, as Heavy Slam comes out. Who's that going to target? Likely that Arcanine it is. And now we have a +3 Garchomp on the field.
That's crazy. That Dragon Claw might do over half the Celesteela now. But James can easily go for maybe a Dragon Claw on a Crocodile. It's pretty safe, and a Flamethrower perhaps on a Celesteela, and Celesteela cannot protect against it, so we can see also a double up on a Celesteela, and Danny probably needs to make some switches here, or else he doesn't have much options otherwise.
Yeah, like, he's going to switch out the Crocodile into the Gastrodon here, and, like, his Celesteela is, like, the only thing that's stopping him from beating this Garchomp right now. Dragon Claw will connect with Celesteela, do around 40%. Flamethrower also targeting him down. Is it going to be enough to pick up a knockout on the Celesteela? No, it's not. It's going to hang on with around 10% HP. We're going to see Heavy Slam likely targeting down that Garchomp, and it will, and it'll be doing a decent amount of chip damage. I'm not sure if that's enough to pick up the knockout with Ice Beam now from Gastrodon. That's definitely a possibility, though.
Yeah, and we also see we could also see a Snarl from this Arcanine, so James can probably make insurance right now that Gastrodon will not be taking out Garchomp this turn.
I mean, he could also just go for a Tectonic Rage onto the Gastrodon. He does still have that Z move active.
But yeah, that +3 Tectonic Rage, that won't kill through Protect, but imagine. But all James really needs to do is maybe go for Snarl onto both these Pokemon here, reduce his special attack, and like you said, maybe a Tectonic Rage, or maybe even a Dragon Claw onto Gastrodon. That would probably take it out, doing 40% to a resisted Celesteela.
Yeah. We're going to see the Celesteela go for Protect there, not wanting to lose another Mon this turn. We're going to see the Tectonic Rage from the Garchomp that looks like it's going to probably be targeting down that Gastrodon would be the Gastrodon into the Celesteela, I'd hope. But Garchomp will be firing off that +3 Z move off into the Gastrodon. Let's see if he's able to pick up the knockout. You can only imagine he will. And Gastrodon will be taking loads of damage. And let's see if this is going to be able to pick up the knockout. And no question, there goes Gastrodon.
Yeah, it was over. I think possibly an actual neutral Tectonic Rage would do a lot at the very least. It would bring it down to maybe red health. So +3, it's gone. there's no way it's taking that.
Yeah, so now probably Tapu Lele comes in. Or no, Krookodile is actually going to be coming in and intimidating that Garchomp once again. But poor Garchomp only at +2 now and still sitting pretty on the field.
Yeah, and the only switch in Danny has left is Tapu Lele, which Garchomp does outspeed because there is no Toy Scarf on that Tapu Lele. So Earthquake and Dragon Claw win this game for James pretty well. It's just, and it's nothing to outspeed the Garchomp either. So this set could easily go to James in the next 2 turns.
Yeah, this is Garchomp set to win here. Just being able to sweep through the entire team. That first Swords Dance was very bad for Danny, but the second one absolutely was killer. It assured that Gastrodon was definitely going to be going down there. So we see yet another Swords Dance from the Garchomp. It's going to go back up to +4 now. Let's see if maybe Danny decided to capitalize on this as we see an Earthquake come out. It's going to target down the Garchomp with the Arcanine. Maybe a critical hit onto the Garchomp would be enough, as Arcanine is going to be taking a lot of damage, but no critical hit as Arcanine eats its, I believe it's an Iapa Berry again, and will be healing up to just over half health, as the Arcanine will go for the Flamethrower, targeting down that Celesteela, and there goes Celesteela, and we're in a position where Garchomp can just hit Earthquake.
Yeah, so yeah, Garchomp just needs to click Earthquake, and that's game. Even if it means Earthquaking himself, Tapu Lele or Krookodile are not taking a +4 Earthquake. Neither is Arcanine or Gengar, but all that's important is that James is getting like KOs onto both these Pokemon, and Tapu Lele is just so weak in physical defense. This game is pretty much in James' favor.
Yeah, we're going to see the Tapu Lele go for the Protect there, and we're going to see a Protect come out from the Krookodile, maybe hoping that he will go for the Earthquake and knock out his own Arcanine, and then maybe he can get some stuff going there. But a Protect will come out from the opposing Arcanine on James's end, and Earthquake will connect into all 3 of these Protects here, as we do get our lovely Protect animations now in the we didn't have that in past games.
Yeah, so it's pretty much over. James can easily just Earthquake himself and Krookodile on Tapu Lele, and that'll be game. I don't think that a Tapu Lele, even at this range, will take any sort of Earthquake
No,
from a +4 Garchomp.
He'd need to outspeed with Tapu Lele, and we're going to see double
Protect.
Protect. Oh, he gets the double Protect with the Arcanine, so the Arcanine will probably survive here. As Garchomp goes for the Earthquake, that's going to be enough to knock out the Krookodile for sure, and both players are shaking hands because they know this Tapu Lele is going down, and that will be our set, ladies and gentlemen. We have James Baek taking the set 2-0 over Danny Hemchand, and James Baek will be moving on to finals.
Yeah, so that was very well played set by James. James had a little bit of a rough start in game 1, but then he comes back into game